Hello, ipXchangers, North America, Austin, Embedded World, 2024. Adam Driver.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Excellent.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a mysterious world that actually we don't really talk about in the world of embedded, which is this tech understanding documentation.
That's right.
That you have to have
Yes.
in order to either make a better product.
Yep.
Or, once you've made it, make sure that everybody who buys it from you is absolutely sure they've got what it said on the packet.
And that they can use it.
And that they can use
They can use it for their own applications.
So, Adam here came up with this idea of, what if we did that using AI?
That's right.
What if we took all that data and we worked out what your parameters were for the project, and then AI gave you the right answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't normally talk about that in embedded world. We talk about chips, we talk about software, we talk about solutions for building better products. This is an underworld. Am I allowed to call it an underworld?
You could call it an underworld, but I think documentation is just a thankless task.
The underworld of thankless documentation. Right, today, if you didn't exist, just summarize the very painful world that engineers have to go through to do what you do today.
Well, that used to be me. I used to be that engineer. So for the last decade, I've been an embedded engineer in a variety of different organizations and companies. Most recently, I was at Nike, and I was on the component selection team. We had an MCU, we had a couple of IMUs, capacitive sensors, a variety of other devices, and each one of those is going to come with a reference manual, a data sheet. Sometimes you get a code example that'll come with an application note that describes about the code example. And as an engineer trying to figure out how to build on top of all of these components, you have to consume all of that. And the way that I would do it was I would print it out and I would highlight the bits and pieces that I needed. And of course, I had to work with my other team members. So we would cut and paste these into presentations or documents to describe, here's an idea that we have about how we're going to leverage the onboard FIFO of this sensor and then put it over here in the MCU in a circular buffer so that we can eventually run a CNN on it.
Super pain.
And of course, these documents are incredibly dense, right? I mean, you get the like low-level API definitions.
And not fit for purpose, are they? Because their job is to say everything.
Yeah, this is what it does. And these are the foundational, but not, it's not how you're going to go build your application.
No.
It's just what their technology does at the fundamental level.
Yeah.
So I was working with my co-founder Daniel at the time, and we had one of these projects. We had a new piece of hardware. It came with a reference manual, very dense, that described the 250 APIs. They sent us some example code, which was written in MATLAB, no documentation, and that was it. We had to go from that to wrapping this whole piece of equipment up in a Python API and enabling it with a REST API. I mean, it was going to take us forever, but we had access to ChatGPT 3.5, which had just come out. So now large language models are on the scene. We had been using them for a variety of purposes. Daniel and I both, because we have PhDs, are just generally interested in how the tech works. So we were exploring the literature of how LLMs work. What do they do? What are they good at? And I had the idea to go through the PDF and grab the description of the API that I was going to enable next, take some example code, put that in there, construct a prompt, send that, and then copy that answer out into my design notebook, because I'm trying to design this much larger system that couldn't be done in a single prompt. And when I finished, Daniel and I were able to do something in a week that should have taken us a couple of months, and I said, hey, dude, we should just go build a platform that helps decode technology instantly.
Yeah.
Where as an end user, if you have a code example that you want to give to someone else and you want to explain it, you can load the code example in, you can templatize a document for how you want the description to look, you can provide the instructions for what you want the AI to go and generate, and then it will generate something that's referencing your information. So that's a core use case for us. You've got an MCU, you've got a couple hundred example applications that work on that. All of them are going to have onboarding guides that today are created manually, but now using Driver can be created automatically.
Right.
Saving just a ton of, and it's tedious work, right? I mean, describing an example application, like here's how to install it, and here are the libraries that it's going to depend on, and this is what the application does. I mean, we can automate all of this now. And then there's the other side of the market. So you have a component, an MCU or whatever, and we can help generate that documentation. But then you also have all the users, like I was at Nike, who are buying lots of components, and they want to think about how to build an application that leverages all of those components. So in that use case, one of the other demos we're doing today is you've got a board, it's got a couple of IMUs, a microphone, you want to do low-level audio processing. They may provide some basic documentation, but if you want to go further with specific documentation to your application, you can create that in our product as well.
What does that mean?
So,
Because in when you described the first example,
yeah.
you're taking lots of other people's data,
Yep.
and you were, for want of a better word, using AI to sift it to get against your reference,
Yeah.
to get the data you wanted, to create the document that you needed.
Right.
You would have gone to lines and lines of literally reading, cutting and pasting, very analog way. But you've just described something that isn't that, it's something different. So what is that bit that's different when you're that side of the design?
So the first thing that we do when you load up a source asset into our platform is we do a lot of analysis on it, not using large language models, traditional CS methods, to understand the structure of the technology that you've uploaded. And then we work with large language models and that structure to produce foundational descriptive documentation. This is extremely helpful if you run into a code base that maybe it's an open source code base, a library that you have to work with. Maybe it was provided to you by a team that you're collaborating with. So, in the same company, different team builds a platform code that you have to leverage for your application. We see this a lot too. And it doesn't have the documentation that you need. Right?
Yes.
Maybe it has some documentation, but it just doesn't have what you need.
Yep.
You can load that code base into Driver, and we will automatically produce foundational explanatory documentation for the code base. But beyond that, you can then come into our system and say, I don't have the README for this for my application. I want you to re-explain this to me in the context of what I'm trying to accomplish. And
Yes.
then what we can do is generate a fit-for-purpose document
I understand.
in your context, describing the steps to you in the way that you want to engage with it.
Yeah.
And we do that by referencing all of the other
Yes.
source material
So in
that we
some
have.
ways, it's the negative of the original photograph, but the other way around.
Yeah.
If that made any sense. It made sense in my head, but I think that's what you're describing.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're
On
describing.
the one hand, I want to explain something to somebody else, so I
Yes.
can use Driver for that. On
Yes.
the other hand, I want to explain it to myself,
Yes.
so I can use Driver for that.
Yes. That's why I think that my analogy of a negative was almost quite a good one.
It was great.
Yeah, it was.
It was like I multiplied by -1.
Yes, and now I don't understand what he's talking about. But anyway, there you go. Right. So today, this is just an introduction. We're wandering around in the world. We're finding new technology that we've never seen before. We didn't know what Driver did. We didn't understand. To be honest with you, we would never even introduce this. I know I'm going to call it the underworld. He didn't call it an underworld, but anyway. It was a world that I wasn't aware that existed, but it's you, community, you're dealing with these problems every single day.
That's right.
And probably just because it was a matter of life, a fact of life, we go around the world, we see processors, we see software, we see IoT applications. No one ever talks about this. And then all of a sudden you come along and go, wait, hang on.
That's right.
Hang on.
Documentation is important.
Well, we know documentation is important, but also it uses up huge amounts of bandwidth and energy, and you've solved that. So you use AI to pop out exactly what you need, but if you're doing it the other way around, you can also use AI to give you the answer that you need in a way that you need it, but you don't have to create it because you're using AI to go and get the data, sift it through, and then put it into a packet of data.
Yeah.
Very good. So, last question. They're doing this every day. There's 3 million design engineers in the world. They're all doing this. It's all driving them nuts.
Yeah.
They think it's a fact of life.
Uh-huh.
As and from today, if what you say is not a fact of life, you can take all that away. How do they evaluate you? How do they engage with you and say, okay, prove to me that that's true?
Well, you can come to driver.ai and fill out our contact form, and you can express in that the application of interest. It takes only 30 minutes to onboard to the platform. We create you an account. You can get started by loading up your first code base. The typical use case that we see engineers face often, I have to work with this piece of software that I didn't write and I don't understand, and the documentation doesn't fit my purpose. Load it into Driver, will produce documentation within minutes, or if it's huge, millions of lines of code, it may take an hour or two.
Yeah.
But go grab
You're
yourself
going to
a
get your
coffee,
answer. You're going to get your answer.
come back, and you can look at it.
Right.
Yeah, and instead of having to dig through the code to understand what it does, you'll be able to read the functional level documentation. And from there, if it doesn't have, if you want an onboarding guide, or if you want to know more about a particular part of the software, or how you would adapt something to your own use case, you can create a document in our system. You can tell us what you want us to write about, and we'll produce that document for you. That's the easiest way to evaluate us. Just get started using it.
Just get starting. And it's that easy.
It's that easy.
Right, okay. So it seems to me like you, community out there, have this world that I was not aware of, but is the absolute bane of your life. He's saying, go and evaluate him, go and upload what you do, so that the thing that might take you days,
Days or longer. We
Longer.
created documentation for a 2 million source line of code codebase, and we counted the number of words that our system produced, and then we did a calculation. If an engineer sat down and wrote this, typing as fast as a human can type, they would have needed 28 days working 24/7 to produce the amount of content that we did in 2 hours.
Right. That'll
So-
do. 28 days down to 2 hours. He's laid down the challenge. If I was you, I would go, well, I'd go to my website first, so I know that you came from me, ipXchange.tech. Then we'd point him in your direction and we lay down that challenge. Adam,
Thank you so much.
that was great fun.
A lot of fun. Thanks, guys.